Reports objective Charlie lost. Good show. Objective Able taken.
I did one of the most amazing evasive maneuvers, or defensive maneuvers.
It's dumb. Are you gonna guess them?
Hey, why don't you shut the fuck up for a second? There's guys behind Charlie.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Bombs away. Yeah, Tiger tank down at Alpha. Oh my god, shot him out of the sky. Tank and a flag panzer.
this thing.
I see.
Oh, you fixed it? How do you fix it?
No, I got out to revive somebody and got killed.
Oh, okay.
Who's dying?
I am dying, but I'm
I
inside
don't
the
know.
tank,
I'm
so I
trying to heal
don't...
him, but I can't get to him.
Yeah, because I'm inside the tank
Yeah,
there.
he's inside the tank.
What the hell?
It's Mike. He was inside.
Yeah.
Couldn't get to him for some reason.
Good job. We've taken objective George.
Black Panzer down at Charlie. Gonna hit those other tanks in a bit. Down to 2 health
We've
though.
lost objective Fox.
Took out their bomber.
Heck yeah.
Be aware that we have lost objective Fox.
I just bombed that guy midair.
Combat zone, soldier.
You've done it before. Then on assault or
I just
supply.
bombed another guy midair. God. Miz, I'm gonna bomb this guy. Okay, I just bombed the guy, and I have a 109 on my tail, and I'm literally outrunning him because I have saxophone exhaust. I absolutely love this.
We've lost objective Able.
I'm at D and I'm headed to E.
Attention, we have lost objective Charlie.
hello everyone. Thanks for watching today's episode. I haven't done a Battlefield episode in probably almost 2 weeks, and I'm glad to be back into the whole swing of things. And another video that I did actually for Black Ops Cold War, somebody wanted me to do a Mosquito video, and I actually was going to go ahead and do it anyway. So with that said, this will actually complete the entire Air Force collection of Battlefield 5. I've actually done a video on every single plane in this game. I don't know if there's another channel in which has a YouTuber who has done that. If there has been, you know, props to that guy, but I don't think there's many. So, not to give myself a pat on the back or kudos or anything like that, but yeah, I'm more than glad to have done it, and yeah, I just love making Battlefield videos. So anyway, again, we're looking at the Mosquito FB Mark 6. This one is the cream of the crop, and the reason why this one is the cream of the crop because it's just so much better than the Mark II. This is the one you've been waiting for if you have it unlocked, and if you don't have it maxed out, you need to get it maxed out, because once you get this thing maxed out, it is so worth it. There's so many different combinations you could do, and it's just, it's by far, I guess you could say, the most OP plane in the game as far as the explosives go. I mean, obviously the best all-around plane in the game is the BF-109G6, but we're not obviously talking about that. We're talking about the Mosquito FB Mark 6. And let me show you my specialization tree. And it's going to be a little bit of back and forth with it, but this is what I usually go with. You know, you have to go with the reinforced wings. You don't really have a choice because it's the first loadout. But instead of going with this side, the 4X Hispano 20 millimeters, you got to go with that 6 pounder. If you're wondering what that means, it says 6 PDR. For the longest time when I first started, I was like, what the heck is a 6 PDR? And then, of course, I looked it up and I'm like, oh yeah, duh. It's a mounted 6 pounder into the nose. How cool is that, right? So, I mean, you're this literal flying tank destroyer, if you will. It's just so cool. And anyway, what I was going to say is, on top of that, you're going to be flying into the enemy area. Hopefully long before you get in there, you got to get used to lobbing the rounds in on the 6 pounder. Now, what do I mean by that? You know, there's a couple ways you can do it. Of course, you know, aimed in, you can lob it in. You want to aim a little bit high. So, I mean, if you were, you know, in a dive in the horizontal position, you don't want to aim right at it. Of course, it depends on your range. If you're close, you do. But if you get too close, what's going to happen? You're either going to get mowed down by what? Flak 38 or whatever flak is out there, or you're going to get Fliegerfausted. God knows you don't want to get Fliegerfausted. So, yeah, I would say if you're in, you know, get yourself a very high altitude, dive in, but try to lob it in, you know? Not like it's basketball, you know, alley-oop or anything, but you're going to lob in these 6 pounder rounds. You know, hopefully somebody on your team has thrown flares, or shot flares, I should say, into an area, and it gives you an idea of where to shoot it. But you want to keep lobbing it in and lobbing it in and lobbing it in. You know, if you do it just right, you should be able to get some really good multi-kills. And so let's say, for instance, you lob in like 3 of these, or you take out an armor, and you know, you kill the tank driver and then his buddy that's with him, and then you keep lobbing more of these in, and you take out some infantry. So all that's happening, right, as you're getting to the target. I can't stress that enough. Don't just wait until, you know, have it on, if you're using a keyboard, and on the PC, for instance, have it on number 4, and you're just waiting to get the target, and you're not doing anything, and you just drop the 4K bomb. I mean, you know, I get it. Sometimes if you're not used to this yet, used to this plane, that might be the route you want to go. But you should still want to, like, try to take out as many guys as you can before you get to the target. I know I'm putting a lot of emphasis on it, but there's a reason for it. So, of course, then when you get over the target, Hopefully you're still at a reasonable altitude. You want to drop the 4K bomb and then try to take out as many of those guys as you can. And then some of the tips and tricks I'm going to tell you in regards to that is this. If you're really going to be into the Mosquito FB Mark 6, which if you're watching this video you should be, some of the tips I'll give you is this. You want to play Breakthrough, and you want to put a lot of focus on Breakthrough. Of course, maps that have air support. So if you want to get like monster kills, for instance, you want to be on the British side. You want to be on the first sector of Hamada on Breakthrough, and you want to try to go after these areas that look like pits. And what I mean by that, like if you saw some of the clips, like, you know, the guys will be moving up towards A side or B side or coming from that. They're trying to protect those objectives. They literally look like these craters. And what happens is these enemy teams will gather in those areas. So if you're playing 64 players, you know, you might have, I don't know, like a couple squads or 3 or 4 squads for all we know. Or heck, you might even have half of the enemy team at one location. You drop a 4K bomb, I mean, you know, you guys have seen some of my older clips. I mean, I've taken out, of course, on Phil, that's different. But, you know, that's a conquest map. But, you know, on that map, that was 14. And I think on Hamada, I've taken out 11, maybe 12. I can't remember. I know there's a few 11s. But there's plenty of, 8 to 11 kills with the 4K bomb. So, again, those maps in which, or game types I should say, Hamada, Breakthrough, where they're all contained in a certain area, those are the maps you want to play with this plane because you're going to get maximum amount of kills with it. That's the bottom line. So another one I can recommend other than Hamada would be, believe it or not, if you can pull this off, Twisted Steel. You may be saying, well, Max, how can we do Twisted Steel? That's Americans versus Germans map. That is true, but if you're lucky and you get to play Grand Operations on that map, they do the traditional route. They actually have you playing as the British. And of course, if you could go bomb the bridge with Mosquito FB Mark 6, you're going to be absolutely love that map. Other ones, of course, you know, I can't really endorse Panzerstorm, and I'll get into that in a second. I know that this video is going to end up being pretty long with all the commentary, but we'll get more into that in a bit. Anyway, third one, of course, you have to go with it. It's increased rate of fire. You actually will notice it a little bit on the 6-pounder. You'll be able to get the rounds off a little bit more quicker. And of course, you know, if we're going to use your primary, which is the LMG, it has increased rate of fire. It helps a little bit. I mean, there's times in which you don't want to just focus your 6-pounder. You might want to finish them off with the LMGs, and I've done that in a few of the clips. So, and then the last one, of course, you want to go with the 4K bomb. You don't want to go with the armor fuselage. You definitely want to go with the 4K bomb. If for any reason you decided not to go with that, you went with this, I think they give you maybe some 250 pounders, but still, it's just the whole point of this plane is to have the 4K bomb. So you're not going to travel significantly fast with this plane, with this loadout. You can dogfight a little bit, but it's more or less you on the enemy 6. There's plenty of times where I killed like 109s or Stukas with the 6-pounder, or enemy bombers with the 6-pounder, and yeah, you're going to be able to pull that off just fine. So again, I would say 90% of the time you're going to use this loadout, and it's just an absolute awesome loadout. You're going to have so much fun with it, and it builds your confidence. When I first started flying in Battlefield 5, I first started getting really into this game. I think it was like November of 2019. I realized the game was out since, like, 2018. Was it October, November 2018? But I finally got into the game because I was just busy with real life stuff around that time, November of 2019. And, you know, I, of course, tried all the other planes and so on, and then finally got to the Mosquito, and then I finally got to this particular Mosquito, and then I grinded it out, and I got it maxed out, right? This plane will build your confidence more than any other plane. I cannot stress that enough. If you're the most novice player out there, and you're like, you know, I'm just not that great at flying or whatever, find your niche. Find whatever it is to make you a decent player. Some people can't stand using keyboard and mouse, where some people, when they fly, they instantly crash because, you know, the y-axis needs to be, inverted y-axis. You want it to be like, you know, you're playing a regular first-person shooter running around, and you want it to be all normal. If that's you, you don't want it inverted. Like I have it inverted. Like I like to pull back on the mouse and have my plane climb, and then when I push down, I like having it dive, because to me that's like simulating a joystick. Well, why don't I use a joystick? I actually prefer a keyboard mouse, but you know, the point is everybody has their own preference. If your preference is whatever you want to be the most, to make it most comfortable for you, then do your thing. But my point is, go with this plane, get it maxed out. Yeah, it's going to suck so bad because you're going to get owned all the time by 109s. Just trust me, the reward is so worth it when you get this maxed out. And when you do get it maxed out, this plane, again, I keep saying this, will build up your confidence. So much so because you're seeing that you're killing the enemies like crazy, and you're getting the kills. And you know, you line up the reticle with the 4K bomb, for instance, or you line up, you know, you're in first-person mode. You're lining up the 6-pounder shots, and you're getting those kills. This is a confidence builder airplane. I cannot stress that enough. Absolutely love this plane. I keep going back to it because you know, at times where I feel like, man, I got nothing going on. I can't do nothing against this enemy team. I just want to fly, you know. Everybody gets that itch, I guess you could say, to fly. And you'll use this particular Mosquito, and you could be like, I don't know, running around as infantry, and you're getting owned by the enemy team. Come on, we all gotten owned by the enemy team at some point. And you'll see a plane available, and you spawn that plane, and let's say your, I don't know, your KDR or whatever is like 3 kills and 10 deaths. I can almost guarantee you can hop in this plane and within like 3 minutes all of a sudden go to the top of the leaderboard, because this plane is absolutely devastating. So by all means, develop your confidence in this if you haven't already done so, especially if you're a novice to flying planes. Now, enough about the far right side. Let's talk a little bit about the different loadout for this particular airplane. I'm going to actually reset this. So there's a different loadout you're going to want to go with once you become more experienced with the Mosquito. And that is this right here. This is one of the most underrated, non-talked about things in the game. I wish I could combine this on the right side, but I can't. If I could, this would be the best plane in the game over the BF-109 G6. But of course, they're not going to allow you to do that. So it's the saxophone exhaust. If you have this equipped, this makes your plane the fastest plane in the game. Don't let anybody tell you that, you know, it's a P-51 Mustang or anything like that. I mean, you think it would be, right? This is actually the fastest plane in the game. Because even though the Mustang has a supercharger and so on, I'm talking about being consistent. You know, you can, it's kind of like the story that was it, the tortoise and the air, for instance. You can literally outfly or outrun 109s, and I've done it. A map in particular would be Eris. You know, I would go in with this loadout, which I'm going to show you here in a second, and I would go attack like their AA or go attack their Flak Panzer, and then I would just nail the crap out, blow it up, and then I would take back, you know, to the get reinforcements or reload basically, and I'd do it again and again and again, and then I'd have the enemy pilots in the 109s, right, try to go after me, and I would just literally outrun them like nothing. And or I have one in which, you know, it's a 109 G6, and of course he's got the infinite, was it the nitrous and so on, but it drives them nuts because they're constantly trying to, you know, basically get you. Instead of focusing on helping their team, they're focusing on trying to chase you around the map. Pretty cool. Anyway, as far as the loadout, a couple of different ways I went with this, but I'll show you the main one I use. So I want the 8X RP3 dumbfire missiles. Main reason for that, of course, is here's the thing. All right, let's say you're playing Eris, right? You get a guy with a flak panzer, and then I think they could spawn like what 2 armor from the enemy team, if I'm not mistaken. So once in a great while, like you have a guy in which he'll do a flak panzer, and then of course you have the enemy AA, right? And then you also have those pesky little towable AAs that, you know, they'll bring out to a field. Or you have that one guy who's just so pissed off because you're just destroying the enemy team, in which they'll do a couple flak panzers, and then also like mobile AA. Or, I'm sorry, not mobile AA, stack AA. Or they'll even tow a stack AA to a field or something. So you got like 3 or 4 of these crazy things going on. Well, for the most part, you're only going to be able to take out maybe 1 or 2 of those. But if you really want to have a chance to take them all out, I know it sounds just insane, but you can pull it off if you're an experienced pilot. You got to go with this loadout, because combined with the saxophone exhaust, you'll be able to fly in there real quick. You'll be able to take out those AAs and just fly the hell out of there real quick. Where on the other hand, if you have this loadout on the far right, you're too slow. You'll be able to take out maybe 1, which is, you know, rewarding, but you know, you wanna dominate. So what's going to happen is, if you have this particular loadout on the far right, like I've advised in other videos, you want to you know, get that icon that shows the propeller, left click on it, but don't hit the deploy to spawn. You will instead go to the bottom of your screen, and then you will go to where it says customize. You get to this screen, and then you will reset your specialization tree like I just shown you, and you'll go with this side. So the third one is the ground radar package. It says all vehicles within 125 millimeters are revealed on your map. I mean, that actually does help. I know that I've kind of spoken against the one for the aircraft. They're, you know, revealed on your radar, and I only kind of somewhat recommend that if you're a novice. But this is actually very beneficial, because while you're flying, I mean, you instantly see like, oh crap, there's this, you know, there's these flak panzers or this, you know, tiger tanks and so on. So this actually does come in handy. And then you know, it says here, it says you could either equip 4 250-pound bombs or 2 500-pound bombs. Definitely go with the 2 500-pound bombs. Don't go with the armored fuselage. Unless you literally are going up against maybe 2 flak panzers and like 2 AA. Even then, I would still recommend going with the 2 500-pound bombs. But, you know, I don't know. That's a little bit debatable. But for the most part, you want to use this on the flak panzer, the 8 RP3 dumbfire missiles. And then you finish them off with maybe 1 or 2 of these. And then just fly back to your base, go back, pounce on the other ones. You know, it's kind of like rinse and repeat type of thing. So, that is it as far as attacking armor. It's kind of like a quick stick and move, or a quick attack and get the hell out of there type of method. And trust me, if you get used to this plane, you're going to be doing it more times than not. If you play Panzerstorm, for instance, I would totally recommend this loadout compared to this other one. Because on Panzerstorm, I mean, you know, you play Breakthrough, I mean, God, what is it? They get like, the map literally is up to its name of, you know, panzers everywhere. Well, it's just enemy tanks everywhere. So, you know, yeah, is it nice to just blow them up with 1 4K bomb? Of course, but there's going to be so much static AA. Can't, you know, you can't steer away from that. They're just going to be like maybe 2 or 3 stack AAs. Plus, not to mention flak panzers. Not to mention Fliegerfausters. So, yeah, I would recommend the far left side for that map. And of course, you'll see other maps in which, you know, you need that. Now, there's one last loadout, and I'm not going to reset it for this, but what it's going to state is, you know, let's say you have that pesky 109 pilot and you just want to really take him out and you're having a hard time with this other stuff. You can actually use the Hispano against that particular pilot if you're not able to line it up just right with the 6-pounder. But again, I don't really recommend that. My attitude is, if you're going to be dogfighting against a 109 pilot, then you might as well go back with the the Mark II, because it has what? It has the high altitude package. So, for the most part, you're only going to be dogfighting against 109s if you're on their 6 anyway. So, but yeah, that's it as far as the Mosquito goes. I know this is an extra long commentary, but I felt as though it needed to be that way. And again, if you're in the air and you're shooting at targets, just like you see in some of my clips, you want to, for instance, let's say you're on the tail of a 109. If you're flying over an area, remember, you're over the area. Drop your 4K bomb if you happen to have, you know, this side equipped. Drop that 4K bomb. You already see that it's going to get to its destination, and then stick on the enemy's 6 and try to finish them off with the 6-pounder. What will happen is you'll get these combos like you've seen in some of my clips. Like I'll drop, I don't know, I'll kill, like, say 4 on the ground with a 4K bomb, and then I'll kill a guy in a Stuka or something like that. And then, you know, he'll have a tail gunner and then a pilot. So that's a combo of 2 more. So 2 and 4, you know, is 6. So you will be able to combo quite often with this particular loadout. So, and of course, I would like to hear from you guys what you think of both specializations, as far as the far left side of the tree or the far right. You know, leave a like, comment, let me know if you feel as though, you know, the Mosquito is a great plane to fly with for noobs, novices, whatever you want to call it. I'd like to hear back from you. So, alright guys, I'll try to get some more Battlefield videos pumped out, and yeah, I think that's just about it. I'd like to just say one more time that this is the final plane as far as the Battlefield 5 Air Force that I've done. I've actually done them all. And yeah, I have done one on the Mosquito. I think it was like my second video where I got over 100 kills with it. But I wanted to do a proper video going over the specializations and so on. And also showing different maps and, you know, different attack runs, different bombing runs, etc. I also hope that you guys enjoyed some of those clips on the defensive maneuvers that I did with the Mosquito against 109s and so on. So, alright guys, that's it. Thanks again for watching today's episode, and we'll see you on the next one.